So that's what I spiraled into depression. That's why I got kicked out. Um, I'm Matt. I'm 25 years old. I'm a copywriter and pet lover. I like playing video games and making food. And I'm a queer trans guy, and I present as masculine. When I look at this, I can't tell that it's me. Like I don't think it looks like me at all. I mean, other people, I guess, can see it and be like, "Yeah, that kind of looks like you. It's got your facial features." But for me, it's like this is like 100% a whole other person. I started realizing it very young, maybe as early as like 7 or 8 years old. But I didn't really know what being transgender was until like my first year of college. Gender dysphoria. It's kind of like when you look it up, they say that it's um the feeling that you get from the fact that your gender identity doesn't match your body. But for me, I think it's more like when your gender identity doesn't match with how um, you perceive yourself or how people perceive you. Because I don't know, for me, like most of the dysphoria that I experience comes from how other people see me and not so much like how I feel about my body. Because I actually don't experience that much like physical dysphoria, but I do experience a lot of dysphoria when I'm interacting with other people, like especially when I get misgendered or when I feel like someone is like scrutinizing me and like trying to figure out what I am based on what I look like. So I think gender dysphoria is just like that feeling of um like something's wrong because people can't seem to see you for who you are or see you how you see yourself. Yeah, actually,
How many years have you been binding?
like 6. My very first binder was a tube type one that I bought from like it was like from a fitness store. It wasn't like advertised as like a binder. It was like a tube thing. So I bought it. Actually, it was like $200,
Mm.
and yeah, that was my first binder that
When
I
was
bought for myself.
when was that?
Um, 2015. So it was second year college
Ooh.
for me. That's the first time that I put a binder. But before that, I even used to do the bad ace type binding.
Oh.
Mhm. Hello, can you see me? I'm okay. I'm just doing stuff for work. And I just wanted to call. Wala lang. I just wanted to say I'm hi. One of three siblings. What are you up to? I'm the youngest, and I have two older brothers. When I was born, my mom saw me as her only daughter, only girl, especially because like we were all C-section babies. So the doctor was like, you can only like have babies 3 times in your life. After that, you can't, or else you'll die. So I was her third and last chance to have a daughter. My first experience with gender dysphoria was second or third grade. We were doing PE, like we were being assigned teams. I was assigned obviously to a girls team, and I remember wanting to play like the sport that was for the boys. Being upset that I couldn't because I was a girl. There was even a time when I like cut my hair without their permission and my mom didn't talk to me for like 3 days. And same with my dad. Like he whenever I would cut my hair or present as mask, he would get mad at me or he would like beg me not to do it or he'll just like constantly make comments about the way that I look in an attempt to like get me to change my mind about it. And yeah, so for a long time, um, there was definitely not any acceptance from either of my parents. Pretty much my whole experience with coming into terms with my gender was a very like unsafe experience for me, and that was one of the biggest reasons why I ended up leaving like my household. So when I had left and had nothing, um I don't know, I didn't have like very good like independent and independent type skills or like survival skills, and I kind of had to learn since then.
Where did you live?
Before moving to QC,
Yeah.
um I was couch surfing. First I lived in Paranaque at my best friend's house. And then for a while I stayed in Makati in another best friend's house. And then another best friend's house in San Juan. And then finally I moved back to Paranaque. And that's where I settled for like 6 months before I moved to Cubao. Because yeah, my best friend's mom agreed to let me stay there for free.
So you're a South boy.
Yeah, I grew up a South boy. I grew up in Las Piñas.
So how many watches you had?
I used to have like more than 10. I used to have like maybe around 12 to 15 watches. And I only had this one left from that time because it was the one that I had on. Because this is the one that I wear most often because it's the most comfortable. But I used to have like a lot of dress watches, and I would change the watch that I was wearing every time I went out. But yeah, I couldn't take the rest with me. But I have this one. Very simple watch. It's just
This is the one that you have left of home.
yeah, because I was wearing it the day that I left. When that happened, I just like blocked them on everything because I didn't want them to be able to reach out to me. I guess for those first few days, it was panic mode for my family because, I actually ran away and had like no intention of coming back. It took them a while to like realize that I actually didn't want to come back because they would keep reaching out still and like keep asking me to come back, and when they realized that I wasn't responding to that, they kind of just gave up trying to contact me.
How many years ago was that?
I left around February or March of 2019.
Oh,
So it's been a while. All the things that led up to that all involve my gender identity because all the conflicts that I would have with my parents before that would be because of the way that my school treated me, because I was also going to an all girls college
oh,
and I faced like a lot of discrimination while I was there. It was my brother who reached out to me first because like I was kind of always chill with my oldest brother, and I decided to reach out to him. He messaged me and asked me if I was willing to visit my mom because she was really depressed. Then I said, I don't know about visiting because COVID, but I can do a video call. We scheduled a video call the next day, and my mom pretty much spent that entire phone call crying. And then after the conversation, I asked her, I was like, okay, it seems like that right now you need me, and I'm in a place where I feel like I'm okay with being there for you, but I will only do it after I come out to you. I told her that I was gonna write her a letter, and so I did. I wrote her like a really long letter where I basically told her like everything that's happened in my life in the 2 years that I'd been gone. And then I also came out to her officially as transgender, and I explained to her what it was and what she should call me. And then she responded very well. She was just happy that I was talking to her again and that I was willing to give her a chance to start over. She wanted to start over with us as mother and son. It was easier for her to be accepting now after realizing that not being accepting was just keeping me away from her. You take care, both of you. Okay. Stay safe. I love you. Love you. Bye. Bye. I never imagined myself like getting to this point where I would be out to my mom and my brothers, and I would have my mom calling me her son and I would have my brothers calling me their brother, because it just seemed so unrealistic to me for my whole life. And yeah, so when, like, now that it's happened, it's kind of like, wow, this is nice because I get to live freely and independently, as myself, and I don't have to like think about people that like don't accept me anymore, and I don't have to, you know I used to struggle a lot with thinking about, with my resentment from my parents. And but now it's like, whatever, that's over. It's in the past. I think I want people to understand that gender dysphoria isn't something that's taboo, or that it's not something that's bad. I mean, obviously, it's something that feels bad, but I think that it shouldn't affect someone's value or validity as a trans person. Join discussions that involve trans and LGBT queer people, whatever, just to like better inform yourself and to better educate yourself and to expose yourself to people like this that might not be in your circles. Because even if you know you live a whole life, there's no way that you can live your whole life without coming across a queer person, and you're better off knowing how to treat them respectfully and getting to know them. So take the time to really get out there and get informed, is what I would say. They had a list of like all the queer people in the college, because they would like have like observe like people observant of them, like to make sure that they weren't causing any trouble. And I was on that list.
What?
And
That's so wild.
yeah, it's like it's all girls Catholic college. So